Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today, we will turn the pages of The Valkyries by Paulo Coelho. The Valkyries by Paulo Coelho, first published in 1988, is a mystical and autobiographical novel that delves into themes of faith, love, and self-discovery. The book follows Coelho and his wife, Chris, on a spiritual journey through the Mojave Desert as they seek to confront personal challenges, deepen their connection, and ultimately communicate with angels. Intertwining elements of magic, existential questions, and human frailty, the story is a profound exploration of the spiritual and the mundane. Plot summary: Paulo and Chris arrived in the Mojave Desert, carrying more than just luggage. Paulo bore the weight of a mission, a task assigned by his spiritual master, Jay, to speak to his guardian angel. Chris, his wife, followed out of love, though she harbored doubts about the purpose of their journey. They traveled through the vast expanse of the desert, a place both barren and alive, a fitting backdrop for a quest to confront invisible forces and inner demons. Their journey began with unease. The stark desert landscape heightened Paulo's anxiety, and Chris's pragmatic skepticism contrasted sharply with her husband's mystical aspirations. Yet, their partnership was as much a part of the journey as the desert itself. Paulo sought divine connection, but Chris's presence brought an earthly anchor, reminding him of the tangible responsibilities of love and companionship. At a gas station, Paulo revealed his purpose: to meet with Jean, a young magus who had already communicated with his angel. Jean, however, turned out to be less than what Chris expected of a master of the mystical. Youthful and brash, Jean initially seemed out of place in the realm of the sacred. Still, he guided them, sharing his own experiences and introducing Paulo to the concept of the Valkyries, women who roamed the desert and could help him connect with the divine. Jean's teachings, though cryptic, resonated with Chris. He spoke of the second mind, the part of a person that holds onto thoughts, melodies, or memories, often without conscious control. For Chris, this concept became a gateway to understanding the spiritual world she had long dismissed. Paulo, meanwhile, grappled with his own doubts and impatience. His faith wavered as he sought tangible evidence of the angelic presence. The desert revealed itself as both a physical and spiritual testing ground. One afternoon, misjudging the harsh environment, Paulo and Chris ventured too far from their car without adequate preparation. The desert's beauty lulled them into a false sense of security, and the heat soon overwhelmed them. They removed their clothing, seeking relief, but dehydration set in quickly, bringing them close to collapse. A stranger arrived, seemingly out of nowhere, and saved them. For Paulo, this man was a reminder of the mysterious ways angels could intervene, even through human hands. Guided by Jean's directions, they finally encountered the Valkyries. These enigmatic women, clad in leather and exuding strength, traveled the desert performing rituals and spreading their spiritual teachings. Their leader, Valhalla, was a commanding presence, and she saw through Paulo's ambitions and insecurities. She challenged him to confront his self-doubt, reminding him that faith required not only belief, but also vulnerability and action. Valhalla's lessons were not gentle. She pushed Paulo to examine his fear of success and his tendency to sabotage what he loved most. She revealed to him a truth he had long avoided: people destroy what they love, sometimes with bitterness, sometimes with misplaced affection. Paulo began to understand that his quest was not just about speaking with his angel, but about breaking the cycle of self-destruction that plagued his life. Chris, too, found herself transformed by the Valkyries. Initially an observer, she became an active participant in the rituals. Valhalla encouraged her to confront her feelings of inadequacy and her doubts about Paulo's spiritual path. Chris realized that her skepticism was rooted in fear of being left behind in Paulo's journey, and fear of her own potential for growth. Slowly, she opened herself to the possibility of faith, not just in Paulo's mission, but in her own capacity for transformation. As their time with the Valkyries drew to a close, Paulo and Chris faced their most difficult challenge: performing a public confession. Standing in the desert under an open sky, Paulo admitted his deepest fears and failures, while Chris revealed her hidden resentments and insecurities. The act of confession was both painful and liberating, stripping away their defenses and forcing them to confront each other with honesty. In doing so, they rediscovered the strength of their bond and the depth of their love. The final moments of their journey were marked by a quiet sense of revelation. Paulo experienced a fleeting but profound connection with his angel. It was not the grand, celestial encounter he had envisioned, but a subtle, intimate moment that affirmed the presence of the divine in his life. For Chris, the journey was equally transformative. She realized that faith was not about understanding everything, but about embracing the mystery and allowing herself to be changed by it. Together, they left the desert, carrying with them not only the lessons of their journey, but also a renewed commitment to each other. The Mojave had stripped them bare, both literally and figuratively, exposing their flaws and fears. But it had also given them the courage to face themselves and each other, to seek the divine not in distant realms, but in the everyday acts of love and faith. As they drove away, the vastness of the desert receded, but its lessons lingered. The journey was over, yet it had only just begun. Paulo and Chris had not only sought their angels, they had found a deeper understanding of themselves and their place in the world, a connection to the divine within and beyond. Hope you had fun. There's more where that came from. Explore other books by Paulo Coelho. Find them below or search Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in Paulo Coelho's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.